introduce these two players. Spawning up in the top left position of Belshire, we've got the red Zerg player. Representing Team Liquid, it's Rhett. And his opponent down in the bottom right, we have got the yellow Protoss player. Currently teamless, it is Bischu.
If Rhett would be able to say anything, if there would be like some kind of a post-game interview, I'm sure he would tell all of you to go to pizza.gg and order some pizza. But of course, this is a European event, so the discounts that they offer on pizzas are unfortunately not available in the EU. I mean, if they would offer discounts from, let's say, New York Pizza or Domino's, the two pizza chains that we have in the Netherlands that are really big, I would definitely order some pizza. I mean, 50% off? That's a lot, man. I would eat pizza every day.
You could buy 2 pizzas.
For the price of 1.
Exactly.
Gee.
And who wouldn't want 2 pizzas?
You could eat 4 days for the price of 2 days.
We're doing some seriously good maths here, aren't we, Lilian? Damn it. We should
can
become
really
like...
see that I finished elementary school, can you not?
You only do that in elementary school? Like in England, our education system, we don't do that till like university. Seriously. Percentages, cool. They're hard work. Of course, I am being sarcastic. But yeah, currently in this game, it looks like we've got Bischu going to be going for a Nexus first opening. Really bold move. The pylon was in the main base, so that's just in case there's any early aggression from Red. But Red, he is also going for a hatch first. These two really want to get their expansions down, and pretty bold move.
Look at this drone. No way, Rat. Oh, yes, he's gonna. Oh, man. It is the game of drones, ladies and gentlemen. Third hatch before spawning pool versus Protoss without scouting. Actually, not without scouting. He does see that there is a Nexus first right now, but he wasn't able to see that at first. There is a forge for Bischu. Bischu could actually go and cannon rush that third base if he wanted to. I mean, the spawning pool is so late, he would probably have enough time.
Bischu hasn't got over there yet, though. Red was just like, you know how I can make sure that I'm completely safe this game? I don't reckon he's going to go for a cannon. I don't reckon he's going to get a forge down early. I'm just going to take all of the expansions and hope, pray that he doesn't have a forge first opening. And Red, he's okay for the moment, but if that probe wanders its way over towards the third, before that spawning pool's done, drops down a pylon, drones will have to be pulled, and Red could be in some trouble.
I think the timing is going to work out barely now for Red. I mean, with the timing without his probe, he's going to be too late to cannon rush that, and I think he knows that. Zerglings are now on the way, and they would get over there in time to be able to defend it. No Overlord there for Red, which is something that I would have expected. I would have expected him to send his second Overlord there to have vision around the hatchery just in case something sneaky was happening. But we all know that Red loves to take risks in the economic department.
That is always where you do have a little bit of risk. Red, of course, is Game of Drones. Let's face it, he does like pressing the D key. It's well known that Red is a good fan of getting up to sort of the 80, 90, 100 drone count, but for the moment, he's just chasing down this poor probe with those 2 Zerglings. We've got the Cybernetics core finishing up for Bischu, and this is where we get revealed what his follow-up will be, and it's going to be a robotics facility. Really nice, nothing wrong with that in the slightest. What do you reckon we're going to be getting in the later stages of this game? Do you reckon Bischu's going to go for a nice 2-base push? Do you reckon he's just going to try and expand out, take his third, try and keep up with Red economically? What do you reckon?
Well, we've seen him play macro game on the last map, and in my opinion, not the best map to play macro on as a Protoss player. So he could also try it on this map. I would say slightly better if you wall off that location at your third base where the rocks are. If you put a few cannons there, your third base is actually quite safe. But when you do something like that on a map like this, there's always going to be that voice in the back of your head when you're going robo that says, mute us, what if mute us?
I think that's just like a perpetual thing, though. Protoss players have been scarred by Mutalisks ever since.
Yeah, they have been.
Mass Muta style.
I have nightmares of mutas.
Just their little wings. It's their little wings, they're scary. Their wings are not big enough to support their body. It just doesn't make sense, but what also doesn't make sense is
how fast they kill your probe line if you're not paying attention for 2 seconds.
Oh, that makes plenty of sense. That makes great viewing, Lilian. Don't worry, it's lovely. Just go with it, it's fine. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that the mutas destroy your probe lines. But for the moment, we've got Rek going up to his lair. He's taking some additional gases. He's going to go up to 4 gas relatively early on. Meanwhile, Immortal on its way for Bischu. We've got some additional gateways throwing down. Plus 1 ground weapons is also getting started. This is looking like quite a nice little push, especially with these additional gateways on their way. Red, what has he seen?
Wow.
Well, he knows that there's 2 there. He knows that there's these additional 2, so he straight away knows that there's at least 5 if his maths is good. And if he knows there's 5 gates and a robotics facility he's already seen. If he saw this 6th or 7th, he'd know it's an all-in, but already just 5 gates in a robo. You're going to be pretty cautious about that.
He's got 7 now.
Yeah,
So-
but Red can't see that.
You're right. But what I wanted to point out was that Bischu, he's gonna go for it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like a variation of the Sentry Immortal build, but he's gonna have his sentries very late on. As you can see, he's just now warping in 4 extra sentries. He only had 1 at the start, so all his sentries are gonna have quite low energy as a stonker by Bischu was trying to scout what is happening. Red has gone for the Hydralisk Den. Wow, that was definitely the good option. I think a Spire would have taken too long to get out on the field, and the Mutas would not have been in time. But the Hydras, of course, Hydralisk Den takes a lot less long to build. Hydras construct faster, and they deal with a push like this extremely well with enough Zergling support.
I think it can be really strong, but the Hydras coming out are going to massively help Red here. He's got 14 on the way, Groove Spines as well. The push starting to make its way forward. A couple of Zerglings are going to intercept it. This is a really good move because it delays the push, buying more time for Red to get those Hydras out. This is precisely what he needs to just keep just poking, keep just being like, hey Bischu, don't come over yet. Come on, engage my Zerglings. Come on, take me on, take me on. Wait a
Hey
little
baby,
longer.
give me a second to get ready.
Yeah, that's all he wants. Red, he just wants to get a little bit more comfortable, and that's what he's doing. He's got those Hydralisks out now. Groove Spines is 2/3 done. The Spine Crawlers are all finishing. This couldn't be going better for Red right now. He's getting in such a nice spot to defend this. There's Guardian Shield, and Bischu is going to go for it.
He did already kill the Spine Crawlers. That's good for him. Here come the Force Fields. How good are they? Oh, that were not the best Force Fields in the world by Bischu. Actually not able to kill much of anything there. I think he killed like, what, 10 Zerglings, but he lost a few sentries in return. So definitely a good first engagement for Red here, who is up at 150 supply. And he might even intercept the War Prism here. Is he going to get it? Gets the War Prism, and Bischu forced the recall. He sees the amount of Hydras there, and he's thinking to himself, wow, that was way more Hydras than I expected. I need some Colossus.
He does, and this is where things can get a little bit sketchy for Red, because if he doesn't either do some damage now or get something to deal with those Colossi, he will run into problem. Ling Hydra gets wrecked by Colossus, but do you know how you prevent that? You kill the Protoss player before they get any out, and that's a good strategy.
It is. Ooh, hold that thought though, Meadows. Looks like Red wants to bring on the pain towards his opponent. Is he going to get the Cybernetics core? He does get the Cyber core. So no more Stalker slash Sentry production for quite some time for our Protoss friend Bischu here, who's got the first Colossi out on the field, has 2 more coming up, is reconstructing his Cybernetics core. Red trying to buy a little bit of time for his Spire, of course, to finish up, because he will need a good amount of Corruptors to deal with the 3 or 4 Colossi timing push that Bischu is going to be going for. Bischu will not have anything behind that. I don't think he's even going to attempt to expand to a 3rd base, because he might be too far behind.
Yeah, he would be too far behind. Flat out. Red, he's already up at 70 drones to 44. He's got his 4th base, 3/4 done. Just needs those Corruptors. If he can buy the time to get those Corruptors out, he may be able to hold this off. And if he does, I'd go as far to say that he's going to win the game if he can do that. But it's a big
Oh,
if.
the Zerglings not in one position.
Yeah, that's so bad now. Of course, Zerglings are going to come streaming in towards the main. This is really forcing Bischu to go completely all in, because there's going to be a good number of probes taken out here, especially if Red controls these Zerglings well. Zealots are being forced to warp in. That weakens the push on the other side, because some of the warp-ins are back home. Red, he's got 9 Corruptors about to pop. They should be there just in time, I think, Lurlian.
They might be. Bischu is not even going to go towards the 4th base. He knows he has to win the battle now and right now. And there he goes. A good concave for Red. A few of the Corruptors have already engaged. The first Colossi starting to get a little bit low. Here come the rest of the Corruptors, and very low Stalker count is present. The Colossi have to micro back, and they will be dying off. Most of the army for Red is still alive. The Stalkers trying to deal with the Corruptors. 1 Colossi is left standing. A lot of Gateway units are still alive, but Red has those Hydras that deal perfectly with everything in this army composition apart from that 1 Colossus. That is the 1 thorn in Red's eye right now. If that guy dies, Bischu dies.
even without that single Colossus going down, Bischu's already in a really tough spot because the single Colossus
You're
doesn't
right.
have enough DPS to really just take out all of these roaches and all of these Hydralisks quickly and efficiently. Rhett's up on 4 bases to the 2 bases of Bischu. Bischu has also lost a couple of workers. He's only at 43 to 70 drones. That is a long way down, and the major point there is that, let's face it, if you've not got a good economy, the tech isn't that great either for Bischu. Upgrade-wise, he's only got +1, the same as Rhett. He's got to try and secure this third, but I don't think he's going to do it, Bloodian.
The third base does go down for Bischu. That's a pretty bold move. He's going to try to macro his way out of this, and Red is going to come from 2 angles. Does Bischu have enough force fields? Oh, he almost segregates the right part of the army, but a few roaches are getting surface area. The Colossi are getting very low in HP, but there's still 3 left. They're actually doing really, really well. 1 Colossus falls, and Red is going to be on the retreat, maybe overextending slightly here as as a hallucinated Phoenix flies out to scout what's happening. Red now has his 4th base up and running, and that was definitely a good engagement for Bischu. He's going to be able to hold on, make more Colossi, and possibly safely secure a 3rd.
He needs that 3rd, though. If he can't secure that 3rd up, he's in a massive amount of problem. And of course, Red, he can just afford to throw units at his opponent now. He's getting more Corruptors out to deal with those Colossi, which, admittedly, Bischu did really well holding that last push. But that 3rd is in a bit of a vulnerable position. Red is still happily up at a nice high harvest account. He's getting his Infestation Pit down. He's got +2 finishing up. That gives him an upgrade advantage for this next push. Don't underestimate that. And this 3rd base is going to start taking some damage. Bischu has to come down to defend that, but that's exposing him to the other side for any kind of surrounds the Red is planning. You can see he's already split his army into 3 distinct groups, ready to go through each attack path. It's just when Red wants to go, not if.
Yeah, Red definitely getting ready to go for an attack here. 3 angles, 4 angles that he's coming from right now. The Corruptors coming from a 4th angle. And the force fields, are they going to be good enough? The Corruptors are working away at the Colossi. The first 2 Colossi have gone down. I think there's too much Zerg. GG comes out of